Welcome back. This morning, we're being a voice for victims and focusing on the murder of law professor Dan Markel. The 41-year-old father of two was shot twice in the head at his home in Tallahassee, Florida, back in 2014. He was in the middle of a bitter custody battle with his then ex-wife, Wendy Adelson. But since his murder, Wendy's mother and brother Charlie, as well as 3 other people, are behind bars, all convicted in connection to his murder. But his ex-wife, Wendy, remains a free woman. According to former Palm Beach County State Attorney Dave Ehrenberg, Wendy could face charges with the holiday season.
I predict that Wendy will be indicted by Thanksgiving. That's my prediction. I don't have any inside information, but if you watched the trial closely, which you did, you can see that Wendy was a featured player. And after the verdict, the jury foreperson came out and said that Wendy, who was the ex-wife here, deserved to be next.
So while Wendy watch, so to speak, rolls on, her mama Donna is adjusting to life behind bars. We've got a new video to show you of Donna being transported to her sentencing earlier this month, and she appears to be in good spirits there, although she received a sentence of life in prison without parole for the murder of her former son-in-law, Dan Markel. So we're asking this morning, after 5 convictions, has justice truly been served for Dan Markel, or is the justice incomplete at this point? I want to bring in 2 people who knew him well, 2 of his former students, now both successful practicing attorneys, Jo-Anna Nieves and Luis Baptiste. Good morning to you both. Jo-Anna, let me start with you. The question of complete justice, have we seen it?
Good morning, Julie. So I think we've seen substantial accountability, but justice at this point is still incomplete. I think that when you have something so emotionally charged at the center of this all, the custody battle, the relocation, the children, you think Wendy. And so the story just feels like there's a void. And I think many people are hoping to see the full picture.
Yes. Luis, same question to you, please. Is this complete justice at this point in time?
No, I think we have not seen complete justice. I think until every person that played a role in Dan Markel's death is held accountable, no matter how big or small the role was, we won't see justice. Until everyone who took a father away from his 2 boys is in prison, there won't be justice.
I'm in agreement with you. I want to focus on Dan Markel, and he's been gone a long time. When we think back, for him, has been slow moving at points, seems to have stalled at points. But 2014, he was killed. When you think back to your time with him as law students, I want to know something he taught you, and that you've taken with you as you've gone on to practice law. And I'm sure he would be so proud of both of you and all the success that you've accomplished. Luis, what's one thing that he taught you that's been really important for you in the practice of law?
I think he taught me to be relentless. If we look at Professor Markel's career, he was a scholar in many fields. We know his blog, Prof's blog, with his editorials in the New York Times, with his pedigree and his education, he never stopped. He kept pushing. When I spent time at his office, that's what he was talking about, being better, being sharper. And so every day I try to be better and be sharper, because Professor Markel could have just been comfortable. He had accomplished enough, but he didn't. He still aspired to do so much more. And that's what was taken from the world, the so more that he would have done.
Isn't that the truth? That's really the truth, Luis. I mean, I think 41, he so much life ahead of him taken away so brutally. Jo-Anna, same question. What's one thing he taught you that you continually use in the practice of law?
For me, it's that I belong in the room. I think that going into law school, I had this sense of imposter syndrome, and it was such a small class that I had with Professor Markel. It was an advanced level course. It was maybe 10 to 15 people max in there, and it was intimidating being a law student and not knowing what I was doing, but having this person who was so sharp and intelligent, allowing me to feel like I belonged and I was part of the conversation, and I do carry that with me.
Oh, that's awesome. Tell us more about what it was like to be in class with him. Kind of take us there, if you would, Luis.
So it was challenging. I tell people all the time that my entire time with Professor Markel, I thought he didn't like me until I got my grade. We went back and forth. In one class, he wouldn't call on me, so I raised both hands. and was like, just kept him up for about 2 minutes until he said, Mr. Baptiste, go ahead. But that's what he was. It was probably my most engaging class. Every class he called on you, he pushed you. He didn't shy away from the controversial cases, from the cases that involve race. He didn't shy away from that. He pushed you there to bring more out of you. But again, every time I talk publicly of Professor Markel, I talk about what you see in that picture on your screen. Even though I took him as a student, I knew him as a father, because every almost week he found a way to interweave his 2 sons into our lecture. On his class door, from the top to the bottom, is what you saw was the drawings of his 2 sons. And so more than anything, I always ask that people remember him as a father, because even in his classroom, he made sure that we knew as students what was most important.
Louis, thank you so much for saying that. I would love for his teenage boys, they're now teenagers, to see this clip from this show and what you just shared about them, how they were always top of mind and always in his heart with everything he did. Thank you for that. Jo-Anna, tell me, when you think back on your time with him, share some of the memories like Louis just did, in the classroom. How did you feel? What was the experience like? Kind of bring us there if you can.
I love the word that Louis used, challenged and challenging. The questions that were asked were very direct. But he was also comfortable and casual. I remember him just like sitting on the tabletops and engaging with the students. So it was very that idealistic teacher who is invested and brings you close and makes you feel comfortable, although he's still helping you develop your skills as a lawyer and taking an investigative approach. He's not easy, but he definitely an engaging and kind, but really the word is like he wanted the best for you, so he wouldn't let you off easy.
That makes sense. Yeah. Sometimes, we need people to push us to our, zone of work that's just uncomfortable, and you have to experience that discomfort to grow. It seems like he wanted everyone to grow and prosper, and I know he would be so proud of the 2 of you, how you've grown from law students to very successful practicing attorneys, and we really appreciate you sharing the experiences with him, as we want to keep his memory alive. It's such a tragedy what happened to him. Jo-Anna Nieves, Louis Baptiste, thank you both so very much. Speak again soon, I hope. Before we go to break, friends at home, we want to remember Dan Markel. We want to show you his picture again. Loving father, prominent scholars, you just heard, outstanding professor who loved to challenge his students and really wanted to see the best for them in life. We'll be right back.
Don't forget to like and share this video, and for more legal insights, keep watching and subscribe to our channel.